Sources tell ESPN's Adam Schefter that Taysom Hill's new deal will pay him $40 million over the next 4 years if he remains in his current role, in which he serves as the backup quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end, and a special teams ace on the New Orleans Saints. However, the deal can be worth up to $95 million if Taysom Hill becomes a starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints over the next 4 years. A lot of ifs. A lot of things to work out here. The deal includes $22.5 million in guarantees. Taysom Hill is 31 years old. Was scheduled to become a free agent after this season, but he's back. Interesting. The Saints did have some salary cap incentive to get this deal done, because they would have had to pay Taysom Hill a lot of money on the dead cap, and it would have affected their salary cap. So this works out for them. Basically, all we know for sure is Taysom Hill is going to be paid $22.5 million. That's fully guaranteed if he stays in his current role over the next 4 years, which we don't have a reason for him, honestly, to be cut other than injury. He's going to get $40 million. If he at some point becomes a starting quarterback and stays that, he's going to be paid $95 million in his base salary, basically, and the $22 million guaranteed, basically. A lot of ifs, like I said, a lot of ands, a lot of buts, a lot of things. Here are some things we do know for sure. Taysom Hill has been a productive player, a very productive player, and that is something you cannot take away from him. Whether it's special teams, making tackles, receiving, catching touchdowns, running for touchdowns, throwing touchdowns sometimes, he can do it all. He has been proven to be an OW, one of the only real OWs there are in the NFL, an offensive weapon. You can argue that Cordell Patterson is possibly the other one, but I think Taysom Hill, honestly, is probably the best one and most versatile one because of his ability and understanding of the quarterback role. Taysom Hill in 2020 went 3-1 as a starter in relief of Drew Brees, threw 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 900 yards, still had like 8 rushing touchdowns over the year. Not all of those were in starts. Some of those happened in relief, but a bulk of his production, obviously, in those 2 categories came in while he was starting. This year, he hasn't really been used too much in the gadget role. He has, I think, 100 or something yards rushing. Again, not too much. He has a few touchdowns rushing, I believe, but passing, he's been not used. Jameis Winston won the starting job. He's now injured. Trevor Siemian has been playing as well as Trevor Siemian can be expected to play. I think it's only a matter of time before the Saints pull the trigger and just try. What's the harm in trying with Taysom Hill? He is a versatile guy who knows your offense better than anyone on that field. I promise you that. There's a reason that Taysom Hill is still on this football team, and it's because Sean Payton loves him. Sean Payton wants to use him in these creative ways. It only begs the question, however, if Sean Payton loves him so much, why hasn't he taken the starting job? Why hasn't he won the starting job? Is it because maybe Sean Payton thinks he's not up to it? Is it because maybe Sean Payton loves to use Taysom Hill in this gadget role? Is it because maybe Sean Payton thinks that someone like Jameis Winston or Trevor Siemian will probably run the offense more in the style of a pocket quarterback, which is what Sean Payton kind of wants? All of these are possibilities. But the Saints are 5-5. The Saints are, second place in the division, about 2-3 games behind the Bucs at this point. The Bucs probably aren't going to slow down too much throughout this year. I think you give the kid a chance. Find out whether or not Taysom Hill is your quarterback for the next 4, 5, however many years. Find it out. Because one thing we know, he's versatile. One thing, he can be used in so many different ways that would make the Saints offense better, more dangerous, and make the passing game an even bigger threat. Taysom Hill is an underrated passer, honestly. He had a game last year where he went off. He played very well passing the football. His versatility and his ability to run through tackles and everything. Taysom Hill is what many people thought Tim Tebow would be. Like, he was like what everyone in their mind thought Tim Tebow was going to be like, oh, this great versatile person. He's going to run through people and chuck the ball and then throw a touchdown. He's what Tim Tebow was supposed to be, even though Tim Tebow didn't have nearly the amount of talent throwing the ball that Taysom Hill has. Taysom Hill is like leagues above Tim Tebow as far as throwing the football. No hate on Tim Tebow. Big shout out to Tim Tebow. I think you give the kid a chance. No one knows the offense better than him. No one can be more versatile when things break down more than Taysom Hill. And I honestly, I want to say there's no one Sean Payton would trust more, but at the same time, he hasn't been named the starter yet, so who knows. But I think he's ready. And it's damn near time we find out for one way or another. It's the perfect scenario. Jameis Winston's a non-factor for the rest of the year. So we've seen what he can do. Jameis Winston played relatively well. Very well, actually, at certain times this year. Put the kid in. Let's see what he is for the rest of the season. What do we got? 6 games left? Put him in there. Let's find out, is Taysom Hill the guy? Does he have that potential? If he does, crown him. It's his thing. If not, you got Jameis next year. You got a nice young crop of quarterbacks this year and next year coming out. Maybe it's time to move on. Stick Taysom Hill back in the gadget role. Still being productive. Still being a member of the team. Still being a beast. But you got to find out eventually. And I think that's the realization that Sean Payton and the Saints need to come to sooner rather than later. Because we know that when teams inject some of this, the change and the spark, it can change your whole season. Look at the Ravens from 2018. Start off 4-5 under Joe Flacco for the first 9 games. Lamar Jackson comes in very raw at that point, but they cater to his strengths, which is I think what the Saints need to do, and maybe that's been the hesitancy with Sean Payton because he has his system obviously. But cater to your young quarterback strengths. You can catch the league by fire sometimes, or you can at least let a spark in your team and win some games. Rattle off some wins. 7 playoff spots. You might as well try. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.